Hello learners! Welcome to Creative Ideas for Teaching English. مرحبا يا طلابي، أهلا وسهلا بكم في قناتي أفكار إبداعية لتعليم اللغة الإنجليزية. أولا وقبل أن نبدأ بدروس اللغة الإنجليزية للسنة الثالثة من الطور المتوسط، لابد لي من أن أشير إلى نقطة مهمة، وهي سأحاول جاهدة التقليل من استخدام اللغة العربية، وذلك باستخدام بعض الصور وبعض الترجمة لكي تعتادوا على الاستماع للغة الإنجليزية، وسأعتمد أسلوب مبسط. فإذا كنتم موافقين فلننطلق معا. First of all, we have to start introducing the new sequence. Sequence number 1. سنبدأ بالمجال الأول. Let's look at these pictures. We have different shapes. We have triangles, we've got squares and circles. Let's start with the first shape. Triangles. Let's read the sentences together. I can't speak Japanese. I can read in Arabic. I can write an email. I can use the smartphone. I can go shopping alone. I can play basketball. All right, let's analyze these sentences. What do you see? Look at these words in red. What do they represent? Can't. Can. I can read in Arabic. Normally, you have seen this during 2MS, so you know what does it express. Yes? Excellent! It expresses abilities. Can expresses abilities. Inabilities, we express it using the modal can't. Inabilities. Repeat, abilities, inabilities. That's right. So let's move to the next one. Let's go to the square shapes. Listen, please. I love searching. I'm keen on reading. I'm fond of football. I love writing stories. I like social media. I'm interested in shopping. Analyze the words in red. Love, like, enjoy, prefer. Let's have a look at these words. I love. I like. I'm fond of. I'm keen on reading. I'm interested in shopping. What do these words express? عن ماذا تعبر هذه الكلمات؟ Yes, they represent interests. Your interests. Now, let's move to the last set of pictures. Look at these circle words. Let's read them together. Cheerful, lazy, confused, timid or shy, nervy, serious. What do they express? Look at the faces. Yes, they express personality features. Great! Now, can you guess the title of sequence number 1? So, sequence 1 is me, my abilities, my interests, and my personality. So this is our first sequence, and we will start a set of lessons talking about different aspects in this sequence. Look at this girl. Try to guess, where is she from? Look at this flag over here. Can you guess where is she from? Look at her face. What personality is she? All right, so In order to know more about this girl, we need to have a listening script. But before that, let's first have a look at different key words. First of all, we start with the word manga. It's not a fruit. It is not a fruit. This is the manga. It's a Japanese comic book that tells stories in pictures. It's very famous in Japan. If you watch the cartoon of Doraemon and Nubi, ماذا يحب نوبي؟ نوبي يحب القصص المصورة. القصص المصورة هي المانجا. Okay? Next we have this game, Sudoku. This is Sudoku. It is a Japanese puzzle in which players write numbers from 1 to 9 into a grid consisting of 9 smaller grids, each of them with 9 squares. Each number must not be repeated in any square or down and across. So this is a game. You can find it on Play Store, download it from there and try to play. It's good for your brain. Next, we have the word karaoke. What's a karaoke? It's a Japanese form of entertainment. People go there to listen to popular songs and sing in a microphone. هو مكان يذهب إليه اليابانيون للغناء. Finally, we've got the word anime, like Naruto, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, digital, etc. So this is anime. These are some of the keywords that you will find in the listening script. So let's jump into the listening script. This is the girl. Listen now to the listening script, then do the task.
こんにちは、皆さん。私は光足元です。私は日本からです。私は日本人です。私はアニメ漫画大好きです。はじめまして。I know that you have not understood my Japanese. I will introduce myself in English. My name's Hikari Yashimoto. I am 13 years old. I am from Japan. I live in Tokyo. Japanese school children and teenagers like manga, anime, and Sudoku. These are very popular in Japan. I like manga too. I always read them in my free time, together with books about wild animals. I love anime too. My favorite TV anime is always at 5 p.m. on Sundays. I'm not a real fan of Sudoku because I'm not good at arithmetic. I'm not a smart girl. I can't understand this game. I find it boring, so I never play it. I prefer video games because they are so exciting. I like music too. I'm fond of karaoke. I always go to karaoke clubs with my classmates at weekends. I love Japanese teen songs, but I can't play any musical instrument.
So, you're going to do this task. I listen and I fill in the profile. First name, last name, age, country, nationality, city, and interests. When it comes to interests, you are going to put a tick next to the correct answer. Anime, karaoke, cooking, books about animals, teen songs, أغاني للمراهقين, Sudoku, video games, and manga. So, let's correct. So, first name is Hikari. Last name Yashimoto. Age 13 years old. Country Japan. Nationality Japanese. City Tokyo. Now let's move to the interests. You're going to put a tick next to the correct answer. When we come to anime, does she like anime? Yes, that's right. What about karaoke? Does she like it? Is she interested in karaoke? Yes, excellent. What about cooking? Does she like cooking? No. What about books? About animals? Yes. Teen songs? Absolutely right. So next we move to Sudoku. Is she interested in Sudoku? Yes or no? Yes, that's right. What about video games? Does she love playing video games? Yes, she does. Finally, we speak about manga. Is she keen on reading manga? Yes. So, this is the profile of Hikari Yashimoto. Now let's speak about interests. In order to express your interests للتعبير عن اهتماماتكم, you can use verbs أفعال like love, they are clear, prefer يفضل, and enjoy. Clear? So we've got like, love, prefer, and enjoy يستمتع. Also, you can use phrasal verbs. They are not verbs. Like keen on, fond of or love, interested in يهتم بي. The difference between the verbs and the phrasal verbs is these verbs can stand alone. For example, I say I like. Phrasal verbs do not stand alone. You cannot say I keen on. You have to say I am keen on. She is fond of. We are interested in, for example. So you need the auxiliary to be. Example, I like football. I like playing football. I am interested in football. I'm interested in playing football. Let's look at these highlighted words. Look, we're not talking about verbs. We have already talked about them. Like, it's a verb, interested in. It's a phrasal verb with the auxiliary to be here. Let's check the verbs. Playing, playing. This is the gerund. This is the gerund. So, in order to express my interests, I use verbs or phrasal verbs. These verbs and phrasal verbs need a stem plus ing. You ask me, what is a stem? What is a stem? The stem is, for example, we have the verb to play. It's in the infinitive. The stem is this verb without the to. So it's a stem. It's a stem. Play here is the stem. Okay? Now we move to different questions that you can use to ask about interests. We have different forms like, what are you interested in? What are you most interested in? What are your interests? What do you like most? So you can use one of these. تستطيعون استخدام أي سؤال من هذه الأسئلة للسؤال عن الاهتمامات. Now we go to task number 2. You're going to listen again, then you complete these sentences.
こんにちは、皆さん。私は光足元です。私は日本からです。私は日本人です。私はアニメ漫画大好きです。はじめまして。I know that you have not understood my Japanese. I will introduce myself in English. My name's Hikari Yashimoto. I am 13 years old. I am from Japan. I live in Tokyo. Japanese school children and teenagers like manga, anime, and Sudoku. These are very popular in Japan. I like manga too. I always read them in my free time, together with books about wild animals. I love anime too. My favorite TV anime is always at 5 p.m. on Sundays. I'm not a real fan of Sudoku because I'm not good at arithmetic. I'm not a smart girl. I can't understand this game. I find it boring, so I never play it. I prefer video games because they are so exciting. I like music too. I'm fond of karaoke. I always go to karaoke clubs with my classmates at weekends. I love Japanese teen songs, but I can't play any musical instrument.
So, I like manga. I always read them in my free time. Number 2, I usually read books about animals on weekends. 3, I am not a big fan of Sudoku, so I never play it. Number 4, I'm not keen on cooking. I rarely help my mother in the kitchen. I like teen songs. I sometimes go to karaoke clubs to sing and have fun with my classmates. Now it's time to analyze these words in red. Always, usually, never, rarely, sometimes. Try to repeat. Usually, always, never, rarely, sometimes. To your mind, what do they mean? These words. ماذا تعني هذه الكلمات؟ So, I cut and paste the percentage above the right frequency adverb. These are frequency adverbs. What are frequency adverbs? They are adverbs that describe how often an action happens. بمعنى معدل القيام بفعل ما. Percentage, نسبة. Okay? So you have never, rarely, sometimes, often, usually, always. You have 100%, 50%, 70%, 5%, 0%, 90%. So you're going to put each percentage next or above the right frequency adverb. I give you some time to think. So we go to number 1, always, always. It's 100%. Never, never, 0%. Sometimes it's 50%. Rarely, 5%. Often, 70%. Usually, 90%. So these are frequency adverbs or adverbs of frequency. Now, let's get back to the same task. Analyze the position of these frequency adverbs. Look, where did I put always? Analyze. حللوا مكان وضع هذه الكلمات. Look here, here, here. Yes, did you find it? So, I always revise my lessons on weekends. She never watches TV in her free time. Look, always, I revise. She never watches. So what's the position of these adverbs of frequency? Did you find it? So, frequency adverb is placed between the subject and the stem. When I say subject, le sujet, الفاعل, I, she. Or, for example, Pierre, Ali, Ahmed, Layla, we, they. This is the subject. Then you put your frequency adverbs, then the stem. I said before, it's a verb without to. So here I have added S. هنا أضفنا الS. لماذا؟ لأن الفاعل هو she. لذلك أضفنا الS. Watches. Okay, so the frequency adverb must be placed between the subject and the stem. يوضع بين الفاعل والفعل. Now we move to how to ask about frequency adverbs. Read these questions. اقرأوا هذه الأسئلة. How often do you play football? Okay, how often do you play football? The answer: I sometimes play football on weekends. Let's watch here. Sometimes. What's this? It's a frequency adverb. What about this one? How often? هذا هو السؤال الذي يطرح لمعرفة the frequency of doing an action. نسبة القيام بفعل ما. I sometimes play football on Mondays. Another question. How often does she practice ballet? Does she? Because it's she, so I do not do she. I say does she. She practices or she always practices ballet on weekends. So, to ask about a frequency adverb, I use the question word how plus often. How often? Okay. Now, your task. I write a short dialogue asking about interests. I include frequency adverbs. ستكتبون حوار تسألون فيه عن الاهتمامات، ولا بد من السؤال عن نسبة القيام بهذه الاهتمامات. For example, what are you interested in? What are you interested in? بإمكانكم استخدام هذا السؤال أو غيره من الأسئلة المطروحة مسبقا. I'm interested in reading Arabic books. ماذا قلنا عن هذه؟ This is a phrasal verb. It needs the auxiliary to be I am. I cannot say I interested in. No, it's I am interested in reading Arabic books. How often do you read these Arabic books or books? نسبة قراءتك لهذه الكتب. I usually read books on weekends. Okay, I usually, between the subject and the stem. Okay, usually. Clear? So, each one of you has to write a dialogue. You can post it in the comments down below. كل واحد منكم لابد أن يكتب حوار بسيط ويضعه في التعليقات أسفل الفيديو so that your friends can learn from you. لكي تتعلموا من بعضكم البعض. Thank you so much for watching. Now wait for me with another new video inshallah. It will be about abilities. سنلتقي في فيديو جديد بإذن الله عن القدرات abilities. See you.